So Steve told us a bunch of things about Soulframe's future. I'm not exaggerating when I say this stream was packed with info, so there's no way I can cover all of it in a quick recap, but here are the highlights while I run some faction tales. Speaking of which, the reputation grind we're facing right now is not intended. The amount of standing we were supposed to gain from Tales was meant to scale up in a way that would compensate for the increased prices in faction shops. The team is aware of the issue and changes are in the works. Weapon experience is also not functioning as intended. They did intend for weapon experience to only go to the active weapon, not the holstered one, but because smites auto-sheath your weapon, smite kills aren't granting any weapon experience, even when they should be, and DE is working on a fix for this. Steve also said there might be a bug related to inventory changes that is affecting weapon XP and is looking into a solution, so in general, leveling weapons will feel much better once we get these fixes. Obviously, we got some great news about future changes to our virtue system, and pact balance will be addressed with those changes. This is still in development, so we don't know yet exactly how this will work by the time we get it, but Steve said multiple times that this is very high on the priority list, and hopefully we'll get to check out these changes early next year. And next year is only a month away. Orlick will have a larger role in Soulframe's future, and there will be changes to both Nightfold and Ancestors. We didn't get many concrete details here, but it sounds like they're cooking up some neat new content. Several frequently requested features will be coming at some point in the future, including both some kind of Captura mode and test dummies. We will also be getting a public export sometime soon, which I'm sure will make everyone working on the Soulframe wiki extremely happy. Steve mentioned several new weapons that are at least possible additions in the future, including crossbows, which we saw at TennoCon, so we already knew that one, but also main weapon daggers, rapiers, and variation in bow types, potentially even with different special attacks in place of arrow hail. The team is well aware of issues with Soulframe's softlock targeting system, and while they are not getting rid of it yet, they are working on significant improvements. There's going to be some kind of change that involves both fragments and joinery. This came up in response to a question about ode fragments, so I'm not entirely sure what the implication is, but we do need some use for lower tier joineries, so this could be a great way to address that. Speaking of the ode, the new Odin walls will have more entrances in our next update. At some point we will also be able to enter those giant ode towers, and eventually we will get ode ship dungeons. The next addition to Soulframe cosmetics will be customizing pact arms. Weapon transmog is definitely coming, and probably also talisman transmog, but pact arms are the priority right now. The team is looking at animations and animation canceling rules. We didn't get any promises about particular changes, but they are specifically looking into greatsword animations and especially the timing for block inputs and parries. The Agari will soon have a shorter respawn timer, and Steve seemed to agree that dungeons with Agari in them should be marked in Koga. Steve also mentioned a few things we'd already heard about in prior dev streams, like animations for mantling to climb over walls and terrain, and combat arts being replaced by a martial arts manual. There were a few questions about console release, and Steve said they'd likely start talking about it early next year, but it sounds like there are several things that need to happen for that to be feasible. In Steve's words,
console people have to agree to it as well.
And of course, I have to mention, we will finally be able to save the deer from the collector. Again, there was a lot more in this stream, so if I left something out that you think was really important, drop it in the comments so other people can see it. Now I've got another video to finish, and I want to check out the old piece tonight. So until next time, happy hunting!